populated by fossil fuel cars. There is one hope for the future.
Hi, I'm Green Christine.
And I'm Marcus.
And we're going to tell you about photovoltaic cells and hybrid cars.
Yay.
First, let's talk about photovoltaics. Cell fuels are so archaic. Switch your energy to photovoltaic. Ready?
Yeah.
Hello. Here we are at the Stanford dish and we have some photovoltaic cells right behind us and a beautiful view of the Bay Area. I'm going to be talking about photovoltaics, and let's start with the definition. A photovoltaic cell uses what they call the photoelectric effect, which is the direct conversion of sunlight photons into electrical energy. So what you see right behind me are a lot of photoelectric cells, and they are arranged in what they call modules. So that's a collection of the photovoltaic cells, and they're probably about a ½ inch to 4 inches wide and long, and one photoelectric cell has enough energy to actually power nothing, so it's about 1 watt, so you need a lot of them, as you can see right behind me. And a photoelectric cell is normally built in 2 layers. You have 2 silicon layers, and one of them is ultra thin and one of them is a little bit thicker. And the way it works is that when sunlight hits the photoelectric cells, some of them are absorbed, some of them are reflected, and some of them pass right through, and the ones that are absorbed are converted into electrical energy. So now that we know a little bit about what a photovoltaic cell is, let's talk about the numbers. One of these cells, like I mentioned before, probably can't power anything. You need each individual cell produces 1 watt, which is not very useful, but when you put a lot of them together, you have a lot. Photovoltaic cells are about 20% efficient, which means in today's standards, they're not exactly the best power source, but technology predicts, and some of the biggest photovoltaic cell producers from around the world are predicting that within the next 10 or 20 years, the photovoltaic cell technology will improve a lot. When you're thinking about photovoltaic cell numbers, think 0. There are 0 carbon emissions, and the source of your energy costs $0. The sun is free and is out here for everyone. Let's talk about the pros and cons of photovoltaic cells. There are a lot of reasons to have photovoltaic cells and to use them. For one thing, they're fairly easy to use as far as the energy source can be used on any type of building, machinery, equipment. So they are easy to transport, and when you're using them for different types of machinery, the technology for more or less stays the same. So they are applicable across the board. Some other really great things about photovoltaic cells are that the energy source is free, transportation is easy, and the technology is improving every day so that you know that you are making an investment for the future. And the last important thing to know about photovoltaic cells, of why they are a good energy source, is that there's minimal maintenance, so you really don't have to worry about photovoltaic cells breaking down or not. Let's talk about some reasons why photovoltaic cells might not be the best energy source for your home and for your use. For one thing, the energy source is very inconsistent. The sun only comes out on certain days. So if you live in a place where there's poor weather or a lot of trees, you're probably not going to get the most use out of your photovoltaic cells. Also, the economic value can take many, many years to regain, and if you buy a photovoltaic cell today with this kind of technology, it'll take anywhere from 10 to 20 years to regain that economic value. Another reason why photovoltaic cells are not the best energy source is that if you need surface area to use these. So if you're putting these on your roof, you only have so much space to use to place these, and so most of the time photovoltaic cells can't be used on their own. They're not reliable enough. So you always have to pair them with another energy source. So you can't be completely dependent on them. In some recent news, here in California, we are going green. 2 weeks ago, Samsung signed a contract with Pacific Gas and Electric for a 25-year contract where Samsung will bring in nearly 130 megawatts worth of energy to California. They're building solar panels or photovoltaic cells in the Central Valley. So all you California residents are going green. Alright, that's it for photovoltaic cells. Now let's talk about hybrids with Marcus.
Keeping it green with your hybrid machine. The first thing you need to know about a hybrid is what kind of hybrid it is. You have a parallel hybrid and you have a series hybrid. The way a parallel hybrid works is you have a small gasoline engine and an electric motor. These work in tandem separately during your transportation. The gasoline engine works most of the time, and then when you need extra power, the electric motor helps you along. In a series hybrid, you have a small gas engine that powers the electric engine using a generator. So it's essentially an electric vehicle which uses a gas engine to recharge. One of the main reasons that a smaller engine is okay for a hybrid is because you have the electric engine. The reason most cars have large engines is because they're manufactured for peak power output. And you only use that about 1% of the time when you're going up a hill or accelerating. Typical hybrids only are manufactured for average power output, and any extra power you need is provided by the electric motor. One of the largest comparisons to be made between hybrid cars and regular gasoline cars is the efficiency of the motor being converted into motion. Electric cars are 90% efficient in comparison to 20% of gasoline cars, which is not very good. Some of the drawbacks of hybrid cars are they're very expensive upfront and they take a long time to pay themselves back. Hybrid technology is fairly recent, so experience with these cars makes repairs quite troublesome. One last failure of the hybrid car's battery technology. It takes 1,000 pounds of batteries to produce the same amount of energy as 1 gallon of gasoline. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Marcus and Christine Hybrid Watch.
Watching!